So I was actually talking to some of the Special Warfare Training Wing folks yesterday, and they said that at least in the recruiting world, they have kind of seen an increase, and a lot of the people that are kind of, it's not that they're not, well, I guess technically they're not committed, but they're comfortable waiting on the sidelines because they're just kind of like, I want to go in. No, I don't. Okay, I think I want to go in. No, I don't. They're not fully coming off the sideline and getting into the game, which I guess is frustrating for me, but at the same time, like I have a difficult time kind of relating to that because I have never been that kind of person that with anything where I'm like, ooh, I don't know if I want to go in. It's either hell no, I'm not doing it, or yeah, I'm in. Let's do it. So have you guys ever had to deal with that kind of thing?
Trent, I'll let you go first. Yeah, I got there first. Go ahead, Trent.
No, I don't think so. But I think we're talking about kids in like the DEP program, right? That aren't really willing to commit.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
I mean, we've been talking about this kind of stuff a lot, and I think one of the problems is they have the luxury of comfort, right? They don't have to do anything with their lives. They're not being forced to like join college or get kicked out of the house. They're not, we did like a parents episode, talking to parents and advice. And I think one of the ways that you build that, just like jumping into things, is you reach a point in your life. At least I reached a point in my life where I didn't have any choices. So it's like, I went to the recruiter. It's not like I was like, well, I have time on my hands. I'm like, bro, I need a job. I need to get in the Air Force. I need to do something with my life because there's nothing but dumpster fires behind me. So right. that desperation is missing.
I love that you leave a trail of dumpster fires in your wake. I just picture you walking away, several dumpsters burning behind you. I think it's a product kind of everything that we've got going on too. If you look at it, it makes total sense, right? So you have all the information in the world. You've got your head exactly. You can go onto the Ones Ready page and you can see exactly how long it's going to take you to talk to a recruiter. And then I want to know exactly how long A&S is. Okay, I want to know exactly how long dive school is. When does my family get to move out? So you have all of these things, and it almost helps you sit on the sideline where for us, that information just wasn't there. It was like, well, I gotta be all in. I gotta jump 2 feet into this thing because I'm going into the unknown. I think in today's environment, it's actually a little easier to sit, Peaches, like you were saying, or Trent, like you were saying, on the sidelines, because it's comfortable to sit on the sidelines. It's completely okay. When I turned 18, it was not okay to live at home with your mom anymore. When I turned 18, I left the house. I think I lived with my mom and dad for like 6 months. And it was the 6 months right before I got into the Air Force because I too left a trail of dumpster fires behind me and had no options. But, that's what we did. It's completely acceptable now for, 25-year-olds to live at home with mom and dad and just kind of chill out and have that ability where if you don't go into the Air Force today, that's fine. You just go home and you go about your normal life. You know what I mean? So I think it's actually part of the, and even look at the pandemic and how that normalized everybody kind of going back home and, rent prices are too high and the housing market sucks and blah, 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 blah. All these other things that are going on in the culture make it easy for you to kind of just sit on the sidelines and wait too. So I think there's a good bit of that going on. It's just kind of the environment that we are in, but it's definitely a different culture, and it's definitely a different thing that's going on. Because like you said, for us, it was like, nope, that was it. When I went into my recruiter, I thought, no kidding, I'm leaving like next week. So I thought when I went in to talk to that recruiter the first time, I was like, well, better have my affairs in order because, if he says you're going today, then I'm going to come home and I'm going to pack this bag and I'm going to leave.
Yeah, I definitely think that the other variables that you mentioned are certainly part of it. I mean, it's too expensive now. For most 18-year-olds to move out, even with a roommate, like it can still be tough, especially now. I mean, like we're getting new airmen in, like whenever we get new airmen in at 2-2 or like we're getting them in at Nellis now. I mean, if they're already married and they're, not in the dorms, like they're trying to figure out where they're going to be able to live. Just because it's insane prices out there right now. And the basic housing allowance can't keep up with the rates right now. So if anybody's sitting here wondering like, well, don't they give you an allowance? Yeah, they do, but it doesn't increase at the same rate as what rent and mortgage prices are going at right now. I mean, it just,
or inflation.
Or inflation. It just can't keep up. So, you're going to be fine if you are a brand new airman, you're not married, or you are, purposely unaccompanied or separated from your spouse. You'll go in the dorm, you'll be fine. You don't have to pay for it. So you've got some breathing room there. But like, it's tough when we get brand new airmen, or maybe they're not brand new, but they're, a couple of, one or two assignments in, and they're out of the dorms, yet they're moving to a place that's super expensive, like Las Vegas or the Pacific Northwest. So it's a real struggle. But yeah, I don't know. When I was talking to the wing about it, it was just something that I hadn't thought of, hadn't experienced. I know that we've talked to people that, they've been in development for 3 months now. They're getting their scores. Their scores are where they need to be, and then their developer and their special operations recruiter is telling them, "All right, here's going to be your ship date," and they go, "Ooh, well, I'd like to push it another 3 months to really make sure that I'm ready to go." Well, there could be some validity to that, right? Because you don't want to be 3 months in and you're just meeting the minimums. Like everybody's heard us say, like, don't go in where you're meeting the minimums. Be able to beat the minimums a little ways. At the same time, if you're already at that point, and then you're asking you keep asking for extensions, if you will, like, dude, you need to shit or get off the pot, like, for real.
Well, and there's a thing about,
sorry. Go ahead.
No, sorry, I interrupt, and I'm sorry. There's a thing about these some of these people think that they're the most important thing in the world. That mentality, like, if you've been going to a developer and you've been seeing a recruiter and you've been using their time and their resources and all these other things, how you don't have a sense of debt in your mind, like, I need to do something for these people. I need to pay them back in some way if they've been putting all this time into me. I don't know how that doesn't push you down the road. You know what I mean? Like, oh, well, like, I'm not feeling super comfortable right now. Like, who cares? Your comfort comes secondary to the time and the resources that you've used of these other people, these grown people with experience that you've used up. So, like, it's not never ending. It's not they don't have to help you as well as they're helping you. Like, all those developers out there are putting in more than they have to, and they're trying to make you successful. And for you to think that your comfort is more important than the time that they put into you, I think is incorrect.
Yeah, there's a certain amount of service. I'm sorry, Aaron, go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's across the board too. There's not a single developer, there's not a single recruiter out there that's doing less. Like, people, my favorite DMs to get are, well, this recruiter isn't calling me back fast enough, or hasn't emailed me, or hasn't returned any of my phone calls. And we're always like, okay, well, how long's it been? And they're like, oh, it's been a week. Come on, my dude. Are you kidding me right now? You shot him an email on Monday and it's Friday afternoon and you're mad this guy hasn't gotten back to you. Like, okay. Like, every once in a while it'll be a valid thing, but every single recruiter, every single developer out there is going above and beyond. And they're going above and beyond for sometimes hundreds of people in their dev program. Because it's not just, they don't just manage just AppSpec War. Like, those recruiters have another job for the Air Force that they have to do. They have to go out there and recruit. So hearing that people are, just upset where they're not getting the personalized attention that they need, it's something that we don't understand, because immediately we default to, well, hey, the person in charge said you're ready to go. So that means you're ready to go. It's time to go now. We would never dream of looking at the person in charge and going, well, I know you said it's time to go, but, like, I don't really think that's right. So I'm not going to. I'm just going to kind of, like, chill. Like that, we don't have that piece inside of our being. You know what I mean? So,